We'll get started with a opening statement from Coach Drinkwitz as we get ready to head to LSU Saturday. Coach, go ahead.
Yeah, new week, new opportunity. We're excited as a football team to compete and improve on the things that we need to get better at as a team in all three phases, and we've got a lot of work to do, and today's practice is critical in doing that. Obviously going to have a tough task ahead of us. We got to focus on the things which we can control, which is to have the best possible practice today. Obviously a very talented football team. Coach Orgeron does an outstanding job as the leader of that program. Has got tremendous offense and defensive schemes and special team schemes. Great players, so it's going to be a tall task, and with that, I'll open it up for questions.
First one's going to come from Peter Baugh from The Athletic. Peter, go ahead.
Hi, Eli. What's kind of the plan with the quarterback situation this weekend?
Yeah, we plan on starting Connor and going with him.
Gabe, go ahead.
Yeah, Eli, obviously this year has caused everybody to change routine to the point where there aren't routines, and now it seems to be up in the air what you might even be able to do this weekend. I know football coaches are creatures of habit. How much have you had to just change kind of your approach every single day due to everything that's happened?
I have to change my approach every single day. I mean, it is – I really don't like the statement, but it is what it is. I mean, every day is a new day, a new challenge. I'm operating with the sense that we're going down to play a football game on Saturday at 8 because I haven't been told anything different. And so that as of right now is the plan until I'm told that we're doing something differently. I heard that LSU put out a statement that they were planning on playing Saturday at 8. So we'll be there Saturday at 8 until somebody tells us different. And if they do, then we'll make an adjustment.
Mitchell 40 from Power Mizzou. Mitch, go ahead.
Sean, I'm warning you right now, I'll probably have a quick follow-up to this. But, Eli, just to start, naming Connor the starter, what did you like about his performance after going back and watching the tape of Tennessee?
I thought he handled the situation well. He got in. We moved the ball offensively. He moved the ball on third downs. He made good decisions in the pocket. There are some things that he missed and some things that he's got to improve on. But I just felt like he handled the situation well, and he gave us a chance. And we're going to stick with him.
And then I know he's thrown downfield significantly more than Sean Robinson when Sean's been in the game. Is that more him making reads, or is that dictated by situation, or is that calling on your part? What's kind of gone into that?
I mean, I think every throw we have has a component that has a deep ball on it. And, he's made the decisions. I think as a quarterback, that's your choice, is to be a smart, disciplined decision maker. And he's made those decisions. It's worked out for him sometimes. It hasn't worked out for him on other times. And I think he's doing a really good job reading the defenses and being accurate with the football, and he's got to continue to do that. And we got a tough task this week. Obviously, they got two elite corners. One of them who's obviously going to be a first-round draft pick, and another one who's a redshirt freshman but incredibly long, had an unbelievable interception versus Vanderbilt on a 9-ball. So he's got a whole different set of tasks and problems this week. And he's got to play better. I mean, nobody played well enough for us to consider it a success on Saturday. So he knows he has to play better. We all have to play better. I got to coach better. But we felt like he showed some growth, and it's his opportunity.
Suichi Terada from the Kansas City Star. Go ahead.
Hey, Eli. Yeah, I was just wondering what the COVID situation was in terms of positives, and are you starting to get people back from preseason with the incubation period and everything?
We're still working out a few scenarios right now with COVID. We have, again, testing this morning. I'll make the final announcement on where we're situated from our travel this past week on Thursday on my coach's show, I guess. That'd be the last time. But we are getting some guys back. We had 2 players get reintroduced to our football team last Thursday. And I think we have 2 more today. There will be full participation in practice. But we're still working through a few things from this past trip, and I'll update that when it becomes clear. It's not quite clear yet.
Dave Matter from the St. Louis Post. Dave, go ahead.
Eli, how closely did you get to know Connor when you were at NC State? I know you recruited him some, and did you have kind of just impressions of him as a high school guy? What he was like as a recruit?
I got to know Connor. I went and visited his school, saw him throw. Him and his dad came to NC State, and obviously Mizzou was just a better fit for him. Tremendous quarterback, good player. Obviously, is a guy that we're excited to hear at Mizzou.
Eric Blum from the Columbia Daily Tribune. Eric, go ahead.
Eli, just going off of the game against Alabama and then to Tennessee, was it any differences playing at home or on the road? Did you notice any differences with the home field advantage or playing in front of a stadium that was maybe 20% full in Knoxville?
There was some crowd noise issues in the first quarter, but we finally got that fixed. But no, I mean, I don't know. I was so focused on the game, whether home or away, I don't really pay attention to all that stuff. The biggest thing on the road when you travel is just the enhanced issues that you have because of COVID protocols and how paranoid you are about that whole situation.
Max Baker from the Columbia Missourian. Max, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. I was just wondering what sort of were the biggest obstacles as far as traveling on the road, and did you feel like everything ran smoothly this past over the weekend?
Yeah, I mean, I felt like everything worked smoothly. We still got 2 tests to go, so I'm not counting my chickens before they hatch.
Peter, go ahead.
Yeah, Eli, I was wondering what's Sean Robinson's role going to be going forward?
Quarterback on our football team.
Will it be a similar situation where 2 quarterbacks are used and he's just not the primary one, or is it just kind of Connor?
Guess you'll tune in Saturday and find out.
Sounds good. Look forward to it.
Great. 8 p.m. ESPN from what I've been told. I mean, yes, there's going to be plays for Sean. There's going to be situations, but I'm not going to give everybody the competitive advantage and tell you how we're going to use every player. He's a quarterback on our football team. We're excited about Sean Robb. Just because we're going with Connor doesn't mean I have a negative connotation or he didn't do what he was supposed to do. We're just going with Connor. And Sean's a good football player. We're excited about him playing quarterback, contributing to our football team.
Thank you.
Colin O'Brien. Colin, go ahead.
Anytime.
Hey, Coach, feel free to correct me if I'm way off base here, but it seemed like –
I will.
I know. But the plays you guys needed to make something happen, I'm thinking of Hayes' 4th down catch and Larry's touchdown run. It seemed like the effort plays were there being made and when they had to happen. And I'm just curious on the rest of the plays when things aren't happening like you want them to, there's a loss or whatever. Is that a lack of effort? Is it mental errors? Is it something else that you can point to? Is it a bunch of things?
I don't think you could ever look at that football team or film and say we don't play with great effort. I don't think there's a time that I've watched the tape and said our guys aren't competing hard. But we're not executing at a level that's given us the ability to win a football game. Part of that's detail and my fault for not coaching with enough detail in order to make sure that the plays are executed the right way. And then there's other times where we don't execute. And that's on, in all 3 phases. There's a lot of reasons for it, but the reality of it is it's got to get corrected, and that's what we're working hard to do. And that's why I started with this as a new week and a new opportunity. And, there's all kinds of excuses that can be made, but excuses don't matter. All right. The reality of it is we have to do a better job as coaches. Our players have to do a better job executing. And when we do that, we'll end up with the right score.
Dave Matter from the St. Louis Post. Dave.
Eli, how do you go into the week health-wise? If Jarvis Ware and Darius Robinson went out of the game on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, we're beat up football team. And that's what happens when you play 2 physical SEC opponents back-to-back. And we're not sure the extent of where that is. I'll have a better idea on Thursday, how people have responded to treatment and how things are going to go. But that's the one area that you got all the COVID stuff, you got all that stuff, but the physicality of this game in this league added up over 10 weeks is really going to be a toughness check for us, and it's starting right now, and we'll figure it out Thursday as we go.
Gabe DeArmond from Power Mizzou. Gabe.
Yeah, on Saturday when you looked at the film, what was it you saw in your run defense? Was it as simple as getting beat at the line of scrimmage, or what did you see as a consistent theme throughout that game?
We got a lot of work to do. It starts with lining up properly. We were late getting lined up. We got to make some adjustments to formations, and we got to fit our gaps the way we're supposed to fit our gaps. And so, that's a point of emphasis for us this week is first make sure we get lined up, get a call, then put our eyes where they're supposed to go, and then work our techniques and fundamentals in order to be successful. We know we're fixing to play a physical LSU team that's going to try to do the same things. They're going to try to win in the trenches. And if we can't stop the run in this league, it's going to be a long day. And so we've got to do a much better job than we did this past week, and nobody knows that more than me. And we're going to work on that starting today.
Ben Hockman from the St. Louis Post. Ben, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. I wanted to get your description and your thoughts on Nick Bolton's role on this defense so far in this season.
Nick's a warrior. He's a guy that I think he had 17 tackles, and is a guy that makes plays all over the field, makes tackles when he's supposed to. We need some other guys to step up and not put the onus on him to just erase mistakes. But that he's a leader and he's a really good player, and I'm sure glad he's on our football team, and he's continually proven why he's one of the best linebackers in the country. And we got to do a better job around him. I think that's a tribute also to the D-line of keeping blocks off of him. And so I think he's an outstanding player. Glad we have him, but we all got to play better. He can play better. There was, a couple plays in there that he spoke about after the game where we just didn't fit it the way it needed to be fit, and we all got to do a better job.
Is there a sorry, Coach. Is there an NFL player, a famous player that whose abilities Nick reminds you of? I'm not saying he's as good as him now, but maybe the way he plays the game.
Yeah, I don't like to get into comparisons. That's just a way to set yourself up. I don't think it's appropriate. Nick Bolton's Nick Bolton. He's a really good player, and he stands alone on who he is and how he plays. And trying to compare him to somebody else only sets up for disappointment. It makes the media criticize whatever I say on that. So I don't like making comparisons.
If he didn't live up to whatever you said, I'd criticize you forever because of it. Yeah.
Fair enough. You said it, not me.
Sarcastically.
You did? Huh. Okay.
Eric Blum from the Tribune. Eric, go ahead.
Yeah, how do I follow that? No, I like the Larry David poster behind you, Hockman. I don't. Anyway, what do you?
I love Larry David.
What do you? I know it's a straightforward question. What do you usually look for in a kicker, and what have you liked about Harrison Beavis' game thus far besides he's just making kicks?
Yeah, he's stone cold. He just goes out there, does his job. The moment's not been too big for him, and he's went out there and kicked it. So, done nice.
Suichi Terada from the Star. Go ahead, Suichi.
Eli, I know after Bama, you said the O-line fought. What did you think of their performance on Saturday and through 2 weeks?
I thought we did a nice job again on 3rd and 1 situations and short yardage, and they really did a nice job. They did a nice job on the goal line. We only had 1 sack, which we should have had help with the running back and that protection there, and shouldn't have been an issue. They handled the blitz the way they're supposed to. So again, I think they're fighting hard. Obviously, we did not play well enough to win. We've got to get Larry, more carries and more yards, and that starts with them. So we're going to continue to work to improve, but I do appreciate the way they're going about and fighting every game.
Jack Sobel. Go ahead, Jack.
Coach, Harrison Beavis hasn't missed through 2 games. When did you know he'd be the kicker, and what does having a capable kicker who's capable of making it from long range do for you as a team?
2 games in, he's made 4 kicks, guys. We're not giving him the Ray Guy Award just yet, okay? Proud of him, appreciate it. You're only as good as your next kick as a field goal kicker. So appreciate it. He's doing a great job. Let's proud of him.
Can I ask,
You know what it does? It gives me confidence that we can kick field goals inside 35.
Can I
which is
ask,
good.
when did you know he'd be the kicker, and what did he do in training camp to get the job?
Same thing he's doing now. There was one day in practice where he was a little bit all over the place, but other than that, he's been the same guy. He goes out there. Coach Link does an outstanding job with him. He controls the controllables. I think we all saw him in the Under Armour game make kicks. He's been the same guy. He's consistent. And so I think that's really been the thing's consistency, which is what y'all are seeing and what we're all seeing.
Andrew Kaufman from KMIZ. Andrew, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, two hometown kids on the defense for you guys, and Martez Manuel and Trey Williams. What has specifically stood out about their performances so far this year?
I think Martez has played tough. He's played physical. He's got to continue to improve and get his reads right, get his eyes in the right place, use his hands at the line of scrimmage. Trey Williams is a guy who can pressure the quarterback. He's done a nice job pressuring the quarterback. He's also got to continue to improve in the run game. I think the thing that sets both of those guys apart is that they play with great effort on the field the entire game. And I'm really impressed with the way that they play. And we got to continue to have that out of them. And we got to get that to rub off on everybody. If everybody on our team would play as hard as those two guys, we'd be in a lot better situation consistently. And I love the effort that they play with. And we just got to continue to have that.
Colin O'Brien from Jeff City. Colin, go ahead.
Eli, with the issues that you told us about at offensive line during fall camp, caveat of everyone needing to improve aside, just what has it meant for this offense to have the same four guys starting in both games and having Zeke and Bobby at least start the entire game, both games that they played in?
What do you mean? What do you mean? What does it mean to them?
How helpful is it for the offense to have that consistency be there after you maybe weren't so sure it would be there at the start of or at the end of fall camp?
I mean, consistency is key for those five guys. Obviously, you would like for it to be the same five guys consistently throughout the season so that you can get on the same page, that you can build the chemistry and the camaraderie. Zeke was beat up last week. Was battling a foot injury that we just didn't feel like he could play full speed. Wasn't able to practice on Wednesday or Thursday, and so that is what allowed Bobby to get the start. I thought Bobby played hard. They're going to continue to compete this week to figure out which one's going to be the starter. What it means is that we've got four guys that are continually working, and we got to continue to work together. Yeah. That answered the question. I don't know if that was what you're asking. Okay.
Kyle Pennell. Go ahead, Kyle.
Hey, Coach, you touched a little bit on this earlier, but with Connor, how does his arm and ability to stretch the field open up other facets of your offense? And then watching the tape from the Tennessee game, was there a play that stood out or a read he made that maybe someone else might not catch watching it on television that stood out to you?
I thought he made a couple of good throws down the field. I think he hit Dame Hazelton on a corner route and on a 9-ball. He threw a really nice ball to Tyler Beatty that was caught down the sideline. He did some nice things. We were still under 60% completion. We didn't throw a touchdown, so there's still a lot of work to be done. Not sure that that's going to open anything up until we throw some touchdowns, until we're more consistent scoring points. That's when the offense will really open up. And so that's really what we got to do. He missed a couple of reads that really have to be made. We obviously cannot turn the football over in the red zone. And that's something that we've got to continue to work on. And it wasn't just his issue. We got pressure. We didn't run the right route to the flat to hold that flat defender. So there was a lot of mistakes on that play. But ultimately, the quarterback's the one with the ball in his hand. Again, we still got a lot of growth to go.
Gabe, go ahead.
Yeah, we've made it a long way without anybody asking about your opponent this weekend. What specifically
20
stands
minutes
out?
in.
Yeah, what specifically stands out to you about LSU? And can you look at last year at all, or because they've had so much changeover, you mostly rely on these first couple games this year?
Well, defensively, you can't really look at last year at all just because they have a new scheme, new defensive coordinator. Obviously, Bo Pelini's been an outstanding defensive coordinator, head football coach for a long football time, has a hallmark defense, plays 4 down front, 2-2s, great match coverage guy, insert safeties into the box, which always creates an interesting dynamic for you trying to run the football and throwing the ball. They have every throw contested. They're going to press those corners, and everything you want, just from an easy access to get your quarterback started is not there. There really isn't, there's 2 games of tape. Mississippi State is usually a completely different defense than what you do against anybody else. I thought they did an excellent job versus Vanderbilt. They've got some really big defensive linemen. Obviously, Dominic Sue, I think, played for Coach Pelini at Nebraska, and he's got some big guys like that can two-gap. He's got great defensive edge rushers. He's got a transfer linebacker from North Dakota State that's an outstanding football player. He's got, I've already spoke about their corners. So they've got plenty of talent on the defensive side of the ball that's going to make it very difficult for us. Offensively, yes, they have, I think, 2 returning starters. Their quarterback, Miles Brennan, I believe he was a 5-star quarterback, just one of those guys. And you can tell he got more and more comfortable last week versus Vanderbilt. Threw the ball 4 touchdowns, spreads the ball around the field. Offensively, they're doing the same things, but you can't really – so you can get some schematics from it, but the players are totally different. But, again, they're scoring points at a high clip. They use tempo to their advantage. They take shots down the field. So, again, we got an outstanding opponent, and I appreciate, the question about them. And it's going to be a really difficult task. And, we'll see. Got a lot of unknowns for this weekend, including when and where we'll play.
Dave Matter, I think the last one's going to come from you because I don't see anything else raised. So, Dave, go ahead.
Eli Ennis has played a lot of snaps for you, kind of thrown into the fire as a freshman. How have you thought he's handled that role through 2 games?
Yeah, he looks like he belongs. He plays tough, plays competitive. He's made a few mistakes, but he keeps coming back. He's got a short memory. He's a really competitive young man. And he knows he's got to continue to improve, and we want to see that. But he's playing well in a hard situation. He's playing a lot of snaps, and we're really, really pleased with his performance and got to continue to build on those performances. It's hard to play as a true freshman in this league, especially against the opponents we've gone against, and he's really, hung in there.
All right. We'll let Coach go with that one. Thanks, everyone.